Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the Goku and Gohan exchange unit that recently came to DBZ Dokkan Battle Global. So obviously this is part of the big Dual Dokkan Fest for Golden Week, and they mesh really well with a whole bunch of units, and we'll talk about that. Their leader skill is Super Saiyans or Goku's family, category Ki +3 and attack, HP and defense of 170%. They're also given additional 30% for characters that also belong to the Android Cell Saga unit. So for a lot of units they're going to be a 200% lead, but not as many people would like. But there are some really good units they will do that for. In terms of their super attack effect, they raise attack and raise defense for one turn and cause immense damage to the enemy with a high chance of stunning. While you are in Goku's form, you have attack and defense of 180%, with an additional attack and defense of 59% when performing a super attack. You also have a high chance of evading the enemy's super attack after performing a super attack for 5 turns from the start of turn, and then you will have a medium chance from the 6th turn onwards. Remember, it only kicks in after super attack, so you need to evade and then you need to fire your super attack and then you will have the ability to evade, and then of course you also get 20% with each attack evaded. Now of course you can exchange after you have fired 3 or more super attacks. In terms of links, there's Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior Race, All in the Family, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. And in terms of category, there is Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Goku's Family, Super Saiyans, Android Cell Saga, Kamehameha, Bond of Master and Disciple, Turtle School, Heavenly Events, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, and Trusted Will. Pretty good. Nice mixture of categories. Lots and lots of categories, so that's always good. Link skills, pretty decent, very straightforward. When you transform into Gohan, things change up a little bit, so super attack becomes greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, which is great. And he has attack and defense of 180% with an additional attack of 58% in the same turn after receiving an attack. He raises defense by up to 100% depending on how much health is remaining, and he guards all attacks for 3 turns from the start of turn. He will gain an additional defense of 58% starting from the turn in which guard is activated for the 2nd time in battle, and he will gain an additional attack and defense of 58% starting from the turn in which guard is activated for the 4th time in battle. He guards all attacks starting from the turn in which guard is activated for the 6th time in battle. He has a great chance of evading enemies' Ki Blast super attacks and countering. The thing with Gohan, and the pretty major thing with him, is that for hard content, Gohan is very good. His ability to activate guard is dependent on him taking multiple attacks. Now in an event like SBR and in ESBR and in LGEGT and in Legendary Vegeta event, in all these super hard events, you will take a lot of attacks. So once you transform Gohan, you should have the ability to easily get his full passive active. In events like Dokkan events, it's a bit more difficult, so we're going to try our best, but honestly speaking, it's really not too much of a concern. So in this first event, we're just going to take a very straightforward look at Goku, since Goku is a unit most players will be encountering for the most part in most of their events. Dokkan events, even SBR and ESBR, you're probably going to see more of Goku than you are going to see of Gohan. That's just because he needs to fire 3 attacks. Now, that means the absolute earliest you can get Gohan, if Goku appears on turn 1, is you can get Gohan by turn 5. That is if Goku does an additional super attack. If Goku does an additional super attack, then you are able to have Gohan by turn 5. So, it's pretty crazy. Obviously that just means, Gohan is not necessarily something you're going to see a lot. Now if you're wondering which one's better, so Goku's total boost after his 3 evades is 510% attack and defense, whereas Gohan's is a little bit different. So Gohan, when you get his entire conditions active, for his attack is a max of 508%, which is technically less than Goku, and his defense is also 500%, which is technically less than Goku if you have full health. But an important thing to remember is that Gohan does counter and nullify, and he also guards. So Gohan in theory is better for harder events where you cannot have evasion activate, whereas Goku, if your event has evasion, is probably better off as an option. And I think that's the really cool design of them. Gohan is designed to withstand those super heavy attacks that come with the ultra hard content, and to be that kind of brick wall unit, which I think is important. A surprisingly good pairing partner for these guys is the physical Super Saiyan Future Gohan. He shares 5 links with them, which is great, and he shares one of them being all in the family. Not to mention that he falls under Android Cell Saga, so he actually gets the full benefit of their leader skill. So they look really good so far. We're seeing obviously their defense has gone up, they're looking really solid. This is a kind of situation where it's good for them. You want to have them have the ability to fire a super attack. That's something that's obviously very crucial for them as a unit. You can see evasion doesn't kick in at all before they super attack, so you really want that to happen. And we can see a decent attack stat, 4 million, very excellent. This is a 55% Goku and Gohan, so we're only assessing a 55% in this video, and they hit really well. I think they do honestly do a great job, and I genuinely believe that they are an exceptional unit. And I really quite like them as a unit. I think they have a great kit. I think Goku being more evasion orientated, a bit faster to build up, is a really cool option. Whereas I think Gohan's for when you need that crunch. You need Gohan to come in, things are tight, you need that guard ability, which will make him tank really well. That ability to nullify and counter super attacks. And so you need him to activate that guard ability. You get him to take multiple super attacks, and he's all of a sudden just this big time tank for you. And I think that's really cool. I think the only real shame is that the unit themselves doesn't necessarily have any reason to build one way or the other. You have stun on Goku, which is cool. You can kind of go for additionals then, but you do lose a bit of that power when you go to Gohan, because Gohan doesn't have crits or anything, and he only raises his attack and defense for 1 turn. So because of that, you kind of want to push towards additionals, because technically you can get Gohan 1 turn faster, although I don't think getting Gohan 1 turn faster is really the point. Gohan is designed to come out for certain events and certain types of event, so I think rather just go crit and let their big attack stats do big time damage. Go crit major, and then you can get additional as a minor. If you get the additional, great. If you get the crit, better, because you have some big attack stats here, and I think not having crit and not being able to maximize these big numbers is going to be a little bit disappointing. You're going to want to do that. That's kind of your primary goal, I think. I personally think that I would rather go for the crit build than the additional build. I just think it's better overall. So now what we'll do is we'll try them out in a longer event. We're going to try them out in the Bojack event. Yes, the Bojack event, but it is the best event to take a longer look at the units. We're going to get Goku to turn into Gohan. We're going to take a look at how he performs, and we'll just be able to really look, compare things up. So yeah, obviously here we'll be able to see Gohan, which I think is great. Get a look at him, get a look at the animations. But yeah, so they're about the same on raw face value. Just Goku obviously has that evasion. It does drop to medium evasion, which does increase the incentive for changing over to Gohan. Having a medium evasion is obviously a lot less than high evasion. So that does kind of also indicate generally a time period roughly where you may want to change to Gohan. So yeah, there are some indicators that they kind of designed the unit to do that. First to early stages of events, you can rely on Goku's evasion, you can kind of get yourself set up. And then when you really need to kind of play it a bit safer, you need to rein things in, you can bring in Gohan. And by that stage, the event's probably throwing multiple attacks out at certain stages, and then Gohan can easily activate his guard. And ta-da, you've got guard and you've got 400,000 defense, and you pretty damn tanky. You also counter and nullify super attacks at a high rate, so pretty good stuff overall. Obviously, Gohan shares 6 links with the AGL LR Gohan, which is great. Well, Goku and Gohan, I should say. And you can see here they got decent defense. We do have some support on this rotation. This is obviously pretty much the ideal situation for Goku and Gohan. To be in that second slot so that Goku can get his evasion. That is one thing that is important when you are taking a look at how the unit performs. Obviously, Goku technically only has evasion after he supers, so that is something you do need to be aware of when you're at least lining them up. That's why a unit like Physical Future Super Saiyan Gohan is so great, because he can really tank in that front slot and really just help out big time for the unit. So yeah, very solid overall. In terms of everything else, so just like assessing their links, for example. So in terms of links, they have pretty good links. So Golden Warrior, fairly common links. Saiyan Warrior Race, fairly common. All in the Family, common on Goku's family teams. Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, all of those you're going to be able to get super easily. Very common links that are going to help you out a lot in terms of like just general performance, but a lot of them are offensive related. So you get 1 key from Golden Warrior, you get 10% from Saiyan Warrior Race, you get 15% from Super Saiyan, you get another 10% from Kamehameha. You do get a little bit of defense from Prepared for Battle, and you get a little bit from Fierce Battle. So you get mainly attack from Fierce Battle, but it is very important to prioritize the links. But I don't know if link leveling them does too much. At most you gain 5% defense, and if you have All in the Family active, you gain another 5%. All in the Family is a very powerful link, and it is probably the only shame that they don't share that link with the LIAGL Gohan. I think if they both had that link, they would be pretty damn strong, but they still are really strong without it. You don't need All in the Family for them to be defensively sound. They'll be defensively sound anyway. You don't need All in the Family for them to do so. So they're a great unit. They're super duper solid. I really like what they bring to the table. I think in general that you can definitely utilize them quite well, and they're probably one of the top units in the game right now. It's very difficult to gauge because I do think they are lacking a little bit offensively. I know it sounds weird to say when you see their numbers, but they don't have built-in crit, they don't have built-in attacks effective against all types, and I think nowadays that is quite a noticeable absence in their kit. They have stunning on Goku, which is great for ESPR and SPR, but when you get to the later stages of the LGEGT or the LGV, Legendary Goku Vegeta event, when you get to the end of those events, you kind of want to have at least one of the two, because you want to have the ability to do big damage. So I think it is quite necessary to do so, and I would say that we need to, you definitely probably want to build into that to a certain extent, because that is going to make everything run a bit better and make them do more damage. You want to build into crit, and then if you get lucky you can grab the kind of grab the additional that you need to bring Gohan out earlier. But I don't think it's so necessary to bring Gohan out earlier. Like I said, you're not losing too much by being in Goku for an extra turn. It's not like Goku's progressed that much worse than Gohan. They're just different in terms of defensive makeup, and I think Goku's fine for that extra turn. Like I say, you're not losing everything. You're not becoming objectively terrible. So yeah, I don't think there's that big rush to move into Gohan like everyone makes it out to be, and so I think crit, or just going crit, is going to be the best way to go, because you're going to be able to really maximize their damage, and I think that's going to be the best point of bet, because again, Gohan defensively more sound, doesn't really gain too much offensively, so you don't want to lose out on the offensive capabilities. And getting an additional attack while as Goku realistically just increases your stun chance, and maybe brings out like I say, brings out Gohan earlier. And yeah, it's not really too relevant. At least I don't think it's entirely necessary. So we'll exchange them now. You can watch the animation and we'll return back.
I give up. I learned how strong you really are. That's it. I quit. Gohan, it's your turn, son. You can do it.
All right, I'll try.
So yeah, that was a pretty cool animation, really dope. Yeah, the animations nowadays are just, they're super top notch. They're like super high quality. They're super top notch. They just do so much, and I think, you know, it's incredible, really, like how fantastic the animations are. On Gohan's side, obviously you can see defensively we have dipped a tiny bit. That's just due to the change. Obviously losing the stacks that Goku had, moving into Gohan, now obviously just being able to build his own. The major point being is that he's going to build up stacks upon his guard. So we didn't take any hits yet, but you can see I put Gohan into the second slot. So you could see firstly that before he got hit, he did about 2.7 million. It's very important to note. And secondly, we wanted him to take at least 2 attacks so that we could build up his guard. That's the most important thing, so that we could activate his guard and, you know, thus at least get 1 of his stacks. The issue is we're just not going to get attacked enough here for Gohan to activate his full guard. So you need at least 6 attacks to be able to get your full capabilities as Gohan. Once he's been hit 6 times, he will at least be able to have guard activated all the time. Now, of course, it's not entirely necessary for you to have his full buff. You need 4 hits to get his full buff. So that is at least a nice difference. So for the added benefits, the 6 attacks isn't, you know, the 6 attacks is important because guard is crucial to Gohan's defense once he transforms or once he exchanges into Gohan. But yeah, you don't necessarily need to get hit 6 times to have his defensive numbers and his attack numbers. So yeah, that is probably the most important aspect, at least from a understanding of how Gohan works, I guess. But yeah, the main thing with Gohan is just you need to just be careful. But we can see his defense looking really solid now, looking very good. Obviously we did take some attacks. We should still have his guard active as well because it is still within the 3 turns. So we should hopefully be able to activate more of his capabilities. You can see there his guard is still active. He's fighting an AGL type and he is strength. So guard is still active. We managed to get 1 hit, which wasn't enough fortunately. But you can see if you look at the numbers during the Dokkan attack that Gohan's hitting above 4 million. That's a big difference from getting hit first as well coming into play. And yeah, Gohan's looking really solid. We weren't able to get the full buff on him. It is something that's quite difficult to do with Dokkan events. You need to be very patient. But I think we've seen a good representation of where Gohan is, and I think we understand how he works as a unit. I think we are at least understanding, you know, how he performs and how well he does. I think that is important to like really get from Gohan and to understand why you would want to change from Goku to Gohan. Like, Gohan's not necessarily just a pure upgrade stat-wise. He's kind of the same, but it's that his actual defensive makeup overall can handle the end game a lot better. And that's where it's very important to understand what your units do and how they do it and what kind of events it's suited for. You know, evasion does work really well in certain events, but it is closed off in others. So yeah, but overall, pretty good showing. Really impressed so far, and really happy with how well they did. I think they're an exceptional unit. I think people who criticize them just don't understand how the unit's supposed to work. For the larger extent, people who say it takes too long to get Gohan clearly don't understand that the premise is not to replace Goku with Gohan, but it's to activate Gohan at a time where Goku would become slightly weaker. and that Gohan is better defensively for the end game. There literally is no difference in their max capabilities, or roughly no difference in their max capabilities because of this. The only important thing to take note is that the stacks that Goku pulls for attack will transfer over to Gohan, so you actually do kind of want to wait for Goku to build up some attack stacks if you really do want to maximize Gohan, I guess. We'll take a look at linking partners, but it is going to be pretty straightforward. As I mentioned before, they have Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior Race, All in the Family, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. And obviously, to maximize their damage, you want to go for something along the lines of Prepared for Battle, Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, or Saiyan Warrior Race. Those are going to be the most common, Saiyan Warrior Race being very common amongst hybrid and pure Saiyans. Super Saiyan obviously being any Super Saiyan unit. Prepared for Battle, super common amongst hybrid Saiyans and pure Saiyans again. And then Fierce Battle obviously being any Dokkan Fest unit. Notable unit, probably their best linking partner, is the Super Gohan Youth. Obviously he shares 6 links with them, which is great, and he's still a pretty solid unit right now, and he falls under their leader skill, so he gets the full benefit of their leader skill, and he also has 6 links, 5 links with this Goku, the Super Saiyan LR Goku. Good option, but is a little bit aged and doesn't get the full benefit. Physical Future Gohan, great option, 5 links, including All in the Family, which is a very powerful defensive link. He also falls under their full leader skill as well, so that's obviously very good for him and very good for them. So there are a couple options that really fall well under that leader skill. They're very specific options, but they do fall under there. So there are options that you can utilize. Goku, very, very solid, decent unit, nice linking partner, shares 4 links with them, doesn't get the full leader skill benefit, but very solid. Namek Goku is also a decent option, but him and the transforming Goku do unfortunately get progressively worse as they transform. This Goku still shares 5 links with them, which is very decent, but obviously loses All in the Family, which I guess would be your major appeal. He also doesn't fit under the full leader skill, so that's a bit of a shame. And this Goku as well doesn't fit under the full leader skill, shares a lot of links with them in the first 2 forms, and then progressively actually gets less and less links, which is okay, but isn't necessarily the best situation. Obviously you can't really control that too much, and if you do want to pair them you can, but it is just a warning against pairing them for maybe longer form events where necessary. But again, it just depends how much you value things like linking key. Maybe you just want a very, very strong combination of units. That's also fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There are some notable ones like this Tech Goku Gohan unit, which obviously shares great links with them, but they kind of suffer from the curse of having easy aid as they came out. So they easy aid, and then now they're just kind of stuck at a certain point in time. They are good units that do still link well with them, and they're great for a lot of events, so if you do want to use them, I guess you can. But that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on it or leave a comment and I'll try and reply back. But that's going to be it from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.